to week 2 of Walk the Plank, the podcast that takes a deep dive behind the scenes of what the week was for Perry Athletics and what the week coming up is for Perry Athletics. I'm joined as always by my co-host Gene Winters. Gene, thanks for being here.
Yeah, another exciting week, and now finally starting to get some home games for some of the teams here at the fall sports teams.
Yes, we are ramping up for sure. Volleyball, today is Tuesday, September 2nd, so we're the day after Labor Day. We have a packed schedule tonight. Volleyball is here for their home opener against Orange. Girls soccer has a match against Chardon at 6 o'clock. Our tennis is on the road all the way out to Erie. We've got golf going on. Everybody's back in and playing games or matches at this point. So we'll update that as we go throughout through the show today. We'll update every single team and what they're doing and where we're at from the fall schedule part of it. But we're going to get right down to one of our athletes of the week here, and I'm joined now by Bronson Denholm. He is a member of our boys golf team. Welcome, Bronson. Congratulations on being selected as our male athlete of the week. There's your Dairy Queen certificate. For those of you who don't know, Dairy Queen does a great job of helping promote our student athletes and support this show by giving out a free meal deal plus a blizzard for every athlete of the week that we honor here on the show. So thank you to Marie and the crew down at the Perry DQ. Go visit them when you can. So Bronson, as I mentioned, boys golf team, it's your third season already. You're a junior of playing varsity golf. So how is the season going so far? We are almost really over at this point, a month in from competing. You guys started really the last week of July, very early August. So we're a month in, and how's it going?
I'd say it's going pretty good. Everyone's getting better and practicing, and we've had some tough matches and some good matches. We had a good win last week, and yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, that CVC division that we play in, I don't think the athletic director did you guys any favors by scheduling you in that division. And we have some, I say that tongue-in-cheek because we have some flexibility, and sometimes we're just told, hey, we're in this division. So we're with Chagrin Falls, we're with Orange, we're with Hawken. West G's got maybe the best golfer in the division, at the top of their lineup. So we're in a very tough division. Just to give an idea, I think I said this when we had Coach Damon, like if we were in the Lake Division with some of the schools further east of us and that preseason tournament, we win. We're in first place.
Yeah.
We ended up in last place in the division we were because, and we'll talk to Kira here a little bit about girls tennis, we're in the same division on the girls tennis side. We're in a really tough division. So we finished last at that preseason tournament by like 4 strokes. We were right there. But it's brutal competition, isn't it? Every match is going to be a challenge with those teams when we're playing CVC matches.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Every match is definitely winnable against these teams. These teams are pretty good.
Yeah.
Definitely some good competition. So we got to play our best every single day and try and work harder than them in practices.
Okay.
And Coach Dame mentioned last week, obviously you've seen them in conference play already, but also in some tournaments too, where maybe in the tournaments you guys have fared a little bit better, beating some of these teams that are within the division. So does that help get you guys ready for the postseason, seeing the tougher competition opposed to the last couple of years?
Yeah, definitely. Playing these tougher teams gets us ready, gets us to know what teams we're going to be go against in sectionals, the skill level, and just helping us prepare.
And so, as I mentioned, you are one of 3 upperclassmen on the team. So you're in your 3rd year of varsity. You played as a freshman. We've got 3 freshmen that make up essentially half of our 6. So for those of you who don't know out there, you have 6 golfers at the start of every match, and we're using the top 4 scores from those 6 to compile a score for the day. So when we're head up with Chagrin Falls, their top 4 scores compared to our top 4 scores, and that's who will win the match. So you've got 6 spots. 3 of those are freshmen. How is, when you have 3 freshmen, 3 upperclassmen, how's the team coming together? You guys getting, together in terms of, are you golfing outside of practice in the game? And how's that team camaraderie with 3 freshmen and 3 upperclassmen, I guess is what I'm asking.
Yeah, we're a close team.
Okay.
We've gone to dinner together.
Awesome.
We always, outside of practices, on the weekends, we'll go and practice together.
Okay.
And, yeah, we'll do stuff outside of golf together. So it's definitely a fun environment to be in.
Good. That's awesome.
And for you, being a freshman, or maybe even going back to last year, what was one spot, one area you wanted to improve your game on for this year? And, what is the strength of your game?
So last year, looking back, I would say consistency is like definitely the biggest part to get better on, and that's like one of the most important parts of golf. Just staying consistent, playing smart golf. Also, that's a big part.
And it kind of like we'll end up talking with Kara about the mental part of the game too. So you have a bad shot, you're coming up to the ball to take your next, you're approaching the ball for the next one. How do you clear your mind? How do you get the negative thoughts out to get back onto your game and continue to have a strong round?
If I have a bad shot, I'm just always thinking about the next shot, trying to do better. There's a lot of golf to be played if you have a bad shot. So one stroke doesn't define the round. So just got to bounce back.
And we play out at Madison Country Club. That's our home course. Kevin and Amy out there do a great job of taking care of both of our boys and our girls teams out at Madison. Obviously playing there, you guys play there a lot in the summer. You play there a lot, just a lot of golf out at that course. So it gives us, and every team is like this, right? You get a home course advantage by playing at home. What is your favorite, let's two-part question. Do you like the front or the back better? And then do you have a favorite hole on the course?
I definitely like the back better, just
Okay.
score-wise.
Yeah.
It's easier to score on the back. My favorite hole, it has to be just hole 1.
Okay.
I feel like I always birdie hole 1 or par it, and then hole 2 is a little bit tougher than that. So I think that's why I like hole 1.
Okay, excellent.
And Coach Day mentioned last week when he was here, about getting back because of the weather, a lot of 9 holes, getting you guys back into 18-hole shape. So for a lot of us that, usually play and take a cart around, how taxing and how stressing is it walking 18 holes? And what do you have to do to get back into that kind of form going from 9 to 18?
Yeah, it's definitely an adjustment going from 9 to 18. So going out and just walking with the bag on your back and just practicing that, really, it helps if you go and do it.
And we've got a couple of 18-hole events coming up, so we'll highlight those. September 7th, this coming Sunday, we're out at Quail Hollow for the NDCL tournament, so that'll be an 18-hole event. The following Monday, we're the 15th, we're back out at Quail Hollow for the CVC postseason tournament. So the CVC takes preseason score, regular season scores of teams and players, and then the postseason score makes up the last portion of it. We'll be out there on the 15th of September, and then the following week on the 22nd, right back out to Quail Hollow again. So 3 weeks in a row, we're going to be out at Quail Hollow. You guys are going to have a good idea. We're going to play, I believe, the Devlin each of those rounds. So you're going to get to play that course so by the time sectionals come, you'll have played it twice, 3 times. What do you like about Quail Hollow? What do you know? Are you familiar with the course? What types of things are you looking for when we're playing Quail Hollow?
So it's good that we get those 3 weeks
Yeah.
of playing. I played there a lot, so I actually worked there. So
Oh,
I was,
perfect.
yeah, I know. I was there a lot. So I played every single day I worked. I was practicing there, and
Okay.
even if it's just like going out on a cart and just
Yeah.
driving around the course, it definitely helps like course management and stuff like that.
Oh, cool. I did not know that. That's a good move on your part.
Yeah.
That's good. Garrett Rupert did that.
Yeah, I
Is that
know,
where you
yeah.
learned that from? All right. Garrett is helping you out there a little. That's a good move.
Yeah.
So you're pretty darn familiar with the place then. So you'll have even maybe a little bit more of a built-in advantage. But I know that those next 3, they sort of ramp up in importance. Like, yeah, the NDCL Invitational, would love to go out and do well. But then CVC-wise, and then really the sectional day out there is like, either score and move on or score and go home. So it should be a fun couple of weeks over at Quail Hollow the next 3.
You have the lone senior this year. So Russell Ford, what has he meant to you? Give us a little scouting report on his game.
Russell Ford, he hits the ball pretty far. He's a big hitter,
Yeah.
definitely. He's a leader on the team, definitely being the only senior. So he kind of is forced to be in that leadership role as the senior. He's giving good tips to everyone and just helping everyone out, really.
And obviously someone that you've played a lot with, grown up with, Benny Dame, not only golf, but in the tennis world, you guys are together, coming up through rec and everything else, multiple sports together. What is that relationship meant, and having someone in your grade that you can rely on in your class that you can kind of lean on and kind of use each other to propel your games?
Oh, yeah, me and Benny are close. I feel like we've spent our whole entire life together. it's good having someone like that because we could both push ourselves and push each other, hold each other accountable for practicing and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, Bronson, it's one of those things that this season flies by so quick, and we say that, with all of our golf events because we're starting earlier. Again, you guys, I think our first tournament was like July 29th or 30th, so we're a month in. We only have really 3 weeks left in the regular season until we hit that postseason. So. Congratulations on a great year so far. We appreciate you coming in and spending some time with us. Before we let you go, though, we're gonna just ask you some questions, just to get to know you a little bit better. So there's no wrong answers here, but we'll just rip through these. What is your favorite food?
Favorite food? That's tough. So steak.
Okay.
I think steak's my favorite.
Steak. All right. And then, are you getting your? You have a favorite steak restaurant that you go to, or are you doing something at home? Where do you get your steak?
Yeah. My mom's cooking's pretty
Okay.
good.
All right.
But if I were to choose a restaurant, Nouveau. It's
Okay.
right by Quail Hollow. So, yeah.
Perfect. Nice. You get off work and go have a steak.
Yeah.
All right. Favorite subject in school?
History, but I would say I'm the best at math.
Okay, excellent. Do you have a favorite, either a movie or a series that is your favorite to watch?
That's tough. That's really tough. I watch a lot of movies. Interstellar is definitely in my top
We've
3
had
movies.
that. That's good. Okay. Like it. Any hobbies? You're on the golf course a lot. You're playing a lot of tennis as well. What do you do outside? Do you have anything outside of those? Anything athletically that you're doing that you like to get away and do?
When I'm not on the golf course or at school, definitely with my friends, going to Cedar Point. That's always fun.
Cool. And then, all right, this is one that Mr. Winters threw in there this year. He's looking for a new app or a game on your phone. Do you have a favorite app or game on your phone that
man.
you use?
Last night, I downloaded this Remind app to remind me to do stuff, but the app I'm on the most is probably Clash Royale.
Okay.
Okay.
play
I
that?
have not, but I'm gonna. That's been a couple now. Yeah, I'm gonna
Okay,
have
we've
to
got
try
some.
it.
We
Yeah.
got some paths for you to
Yes.
go down. All right. Favorite memory from Perry. So this could be anything. It can be athletic. It can be non-athletic. You spent your, a lot of years here. You're a junior. You've got really about a year and 3/4 to go before you walk across that stage. What's your favorite? One of your favorite memories from Perry to this point?
So I think it was my freshman year soccer.
Okay.
I forget who it was against, but there was 6 minutes left. We were down by 3, and I remember we made 3 corner kicks in a row, and I was the one taking the corner kicks. And that was the craziest thing ever. We were all going crazy.
Yeah, wasn't it the opening game of the year?
It might have
maybe?
been.
I think it was against Ravenna, and we came all the way back, and we scored late to win that game. If I'm not incorrect, so I remember that game too. Visit any place in the world. Money is not an object. Where would you go?
I want to visit a big city. I feel
Okay.
like that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Or maybe I feel like it's a basic answer, but Paris or
Yeah.
something like that.
It's good. Those are all. That would click both boxes there. Big city and somewhere over in Europe. Paris is beautiful. So, Bronson, thanks for being here.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Yep.
Good luck the rest of the year. We'll update everybody
sir.
as we go on and let you know how the Pirate boys golf team fares as we get towards our postseason. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. We're going to flop seats. Well, Bronson's going to go back to class. Don't forget your certificate. And we're bringing up Kira Havlin as our female athlete of the week. Girls tennis and cross country, right? Dual
Yep.
sport athlete. She's one of our rare dual sport athletes. She makes it work. It's nice because cross country those events are typically on a Saturday, on a weekend, and tennis is more during the week. Even though we'll have one coming up here. We've got a little conflict we'll have to work
Yeah.
around, but we'll figure it out, right, Kira?
Yeah, I don't know about that one
But
yet.
congratulations, Coach Morris nominated you as our female athlete of the week and as a leader of our girls tennis program as a senior on our team, one of 2 seniors. And yeah, just same as Bronson. How is the season going so far? As we've discussed a little bit, playing tough competition. We're playing Orange and Hawken and Beechwood and Chagrin Falls. By the way, Orange is the number 1 ranked team in Division II in the state, and Hawken is the number 3 ranked team in Division II in the state, not Northeast Ohio, the entire state. So we're playing some high level tennis against those schools. But overall, how is that senior year going for you, Kira?
It's been good.
Yeah.
It's definitely been a new adjustment. We've had a lot of freshmen this year,
Mm-hmm.
and so as a team, we've just been like working them in and bonding all. But especially with those tougher competitions, we just all try and keep a positive attitude and mindset, and just go out there and play the best that we can give, and just see how far that'll get us. But they're definitely really good.
Yeah, Coach Morris has been giving me the elbow, like, can we please schedule, what is this thing? This is her first year. She's like, and I'm walking into these matches, and, like, I'm playing the #1 team in the state of Ohio. And, you know, so we're trying to, you know, play some teams in a non-conference setting that are more on our level, and still, I think we're a very good tennis school. But we're not the #1 or #2 ranked team in the state. We're never going to be that probably. But so we're playing Chardon and Geneva, and we've had some rain issues with those trying
Both
to get
times
these
we've
matches
played
in.
them.
Really comparable teams to us. Competition's going right down to the wire, and we've had some rain outs. So, but yeah, I think we play Erie McDowell today. We're traveling out there. Both JV and varsity are heading out to Erie McDowell. And again, it's somebody that we've competed with. We've played them for the last 5 or 6 years, and those matches are always good. So we're looking for some good competition today. So outside that CVC, we're trying to do what we can to even it
Yes,
out a little bit.
thanks.
Yeah.
And as Mr. Rockwell mentioned, being one of 2 seniors this year, you mentioned a lot of freshmen. So how has your role changed as, being the senior and maybe more of a leadership role this year?
So definitely, like, obviously there is a bunch of freshmen. So, like, at the start of practice, we can try and all, like, get together and we like stretching together as a group, because I feel like that's just so, like, simple and basic. But everyone's there and everyone's, like, having fun, and we're all just in a circle, and we can talk and stretch together. And then, like, obviously, like, before matches, I have a speaker, and I bring a speaker, and we'll play music, and we all just, like, enjoy warming up together, and trying to just bring everyone together as a team and make sure that we all bond well has definitely been a big thing as a senior and all the freshmen. So
Well, sort of similar to like we talked about with Bronson, with 3 freshmen on that varsity, golf team, and having a lot of freshmen involved. And then we have a JV team this year, which we did not have a full JV team last year. So we've got more people, coming out for the sport, which is what we want, and it's going to rely on that leadership that you guys provide. And pretty much, we tell our seniors this all the time. Our programs will go as our seniors will go. If we have good leadership and positivity and stuff from our seniors, we're going to fare much better than, if you guys, oh, you're a freshman, we're not going to talk to you, right? I think across the board, all of our sports, I've heard different stories this year of, the freshmen sort of obviously being welcomed, which is what we want. Mm-hmm. And that's awesome that you guys do that. Kira, for you playing this year, second singles, moving up from third singles from last year, obviously we already talked about some of those CVC matches, high-level competition, but what is the difference in competition between third and second for you that you've noticed so far?
I mean, definitely, like, for third singles, it's more like they're just consistent. Like, there's not as many, like, winning shots they can hit. It's like, oh, they'll get the ball back over. You can play for a while. With second singles, it's more, obviously we're playing better girls than we played last year, like, in general, but they're better at getting those, like, nice winner shots and hitting the ball, like, super hard, and their positioning is definitely a lot better. That's definitely one thing I've noticed, is that they make you move a lot more and stuff.
Right.
So
Was there, what goals did you set going into this year? Obviously, a CVC champion last year, News Herald honorable mention. So what goals did you have at the start of this year, and are you getting to those, or are you is your game where you would like it?
some goals I had is, like, obviously I knew going into the season we had a harder, like, conference and stuff, so I wanted to try and win just as many games or, like, matches as I could, and then just in those conference matches, like, see if I could win maybe one, like, game or one thing in the match. And I feel like with most of the teams, because I know against Orange and Hawken, I was able to get, like, at least one, like,
Yeah.
win in, and it's been good, like, for me, because I know they're harder and stuff, but it's something nice that I can take away from it. So
And Coach Morris coming in this year as our new coach, Coach Walker, over with our girls golf program. He's been our tennis coach for at least 8 or 9 years. How is that going? Is it weird not having him around?
I mean, it definitely is. It's a transition without Rob. Rob
Yeah.
was always been there every year that I've been there, so it's definitely new. But I like the new coaching. I
Yeah.
think they work well with us, and they give us like they've brought different things into the program. Like as a start of practice now, we work with ladders and like just some quick footman drill and things like
Yeah.
that, which I think definitely helps. And there's 2 of them this year, which is also
Yeah.
nice because last year was just Rob, so
Yeah.
every drill we had to do would be run through Rob. But since there's 2 of them, we can get through more drills and things. And I think it's been a good adjustment, though.
That's awesome.
And with the full JV team, full varsity team, is there an underclassman that we should be aware of? Is there someone that you see now and you're like, you know what, they are really, really good?
Definitely Laurel French. She is our our singles player right now, and she's really good. And she's only a freshman, so I think definitely like as she gets older, she'll just keep progressing in a positive direction.
Awesome. And as we mentioned a little bit earlier, Kira is a multi-sport athlete for us, and we want all of our kids to be multi-sport athletes at Perry. We all know we're not mentors, so meaning we want them to play, as many sports, each season if possible, fall, winter, and spring. Well, Kira's doing 2 in one season, so, and these are always a little bit difficult because, you're trying to keep both sports happy, for lack of a better word, right? And trying to do both. And cross country, again, the schedule, makes it sort of easier to do that. You're usually not missing a competition for one over the other, which sometimes happens in other sports. So cross country, how is that going? I know you guys were down at Ashland. Coach Thomas will be on the show here in just a couple of minutes. We'll talk to her about this past weekend, but we went down to Ashland this past weekend as a cross country program, and how did that race go?
I think as a team, we all ran really well. The girls finished 4th overall as a team, and I think everyone ran really strong races. Like even compared to the last week, a lot of people just dropped a lot of time off of their times from our opener last week at Riverside. And the boys team, they did really well. Like majority of the team PR'd. I think like almost all of them did. And a lot of our girls PR'd or just even PRs for the season. And I think we all ran really well there. So that was good.
And having 2 sports here in the fall, how do you manage your day? I mean, obviously, tennis practice practice for tennis is right after school. Where do you get your running in? When do you get your schoolwork done? How does a day look for you?
So definitely like matches is when it's like when I have a match, it's the hardest because I go and I play, especially if it's like an away match. Like today, we're going to be
tough.
at Erie, so we're going to get home obviously a lot later. And then normally during ice or like during my lunch block, I'll go and I'll talk to Coach Martin. I'll be like, hey, what do you guys want me to run today? And then normally after I get home, I give myself like 20, 30 minutes after a match to eat a snack, drink a little bit, and take a little bit of time.
Yeah.
And then I'll go out and run. And then after that, normally it's pretty late, and I stay up pretty late on the nights trying to do my homework and everything. But I love doing them both, and I wouldn't do anything else. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, we certainly appreciate it, and it's one of those unique situations. We don't get a lot of athletes who can do this and do both sports, and so hats off to you. Congratulations on a great start to the year. Tennis, we've been underway for a couple of weeks. Cross country, as you mentioned, our first race was last weekend at Riverside, last weekend in August, and then Ashland this past week. So you're really almost just getting underway for cross country, right? So it's only 2 weeks in there. So, all right, Kira. Well, congratulations on being our athlete of the week. We really appreciate you spending the time before you leave. And we won't go back and look at last year's video. Kira was an athlete of the week last year. We're going to ask you some get-to-know you questions, so maybe things have changed since
Probably
last year. She's preempting that. Probably not. Favorite food?
Okay, this is gonna do the favorite restaurant and
Yeah,
favorite food.
that's good.
Subway is my favorite restaurant.
Okay.
And I like the double cheese dippers from Subway, but they're
Double
getting
cheese
rid of those
dippers.
this month.
They are.
So yeah.
You're in the know. So they've already put that out there in the universe.
Yeah,
That's happening.
the owners.
What
it's my
are double
favorite
cheese
thing.
dippers? I'm not at Subway a lot, I must admit.
It's this like foot long and it's a flatbread,
Okay.
and they put not provolone, American and cheddar cheese in it, and they wrap it up and they squish it
Oh.
super tight, and I don't know, it's really good. I like it.
Cheese
so.
and bread.
That's exactly
all
what it
right,
is.
nothing
Yep.
wrong with that. Sounds good to me. Maybe I should try it before we get rid of it. All right. Favorite subject in school?
Math.
Math. Either a favorite movie or a television series or a streaming, whatever, Netflix, whatever is out there. What do you like to watch?
My favorite show would have to be Gilmore Girls.
Okay. Popular in my house. Yes. hobby away from, again, we've already talked about you being very busy. You're right. You're giving yourself 15 or 20 minutes for a snack and a drink of water between tennis and cross country. Do you even have time to do anything outside of what you're doing, at least in the fall?
Not really.
Not really.
Really
Okay,
not.
this
I
is
feel
it.
like at most it's just getting to hang out with my teammates, like
Yeah.
especially cross country, because we have more time like before our like races and stuff.
Sure.
Like that's just getting to bond with my team and stuff like that. That's fine.
That's awesome. And favorite memory from Perry? Now, you're a senior. You're going to walk across that stage here in about 7 or 8 months. What are you taking away from here? Again, I think this is where we changed it a little bit. It can be any memory. It can be the Washington, D.C. trip, whatever, that you've had at Perry. What are some of your top memories?
I have a lot. So just off the top of my head,
Yeah.
I really love the cross country overnight meets. Like we
Ah.
just had ours,
Yes.
and then last year they're just always so fun because you
Yeah.
get to spend that's so much time with your team, and
Yeah.
just I love those. Those are definitely a top memory for sure.
Well, and we have so many people that say that, so I always push for our teams that want to do an overnight trip, because it's great bonding for the team and the coaches and the whole program. And it's crazy just to think, oh, we're gonna go stay in a hotel, but the kids love doing it, and they love being together and getting ready for competition that way. So good answer. Favorite app or game on your phone?
Okay, these aren't really games,
Okay.
but I love TikTok. I mean,
Right. Are you on TikTok?
I am not.
Gene? You're
No,
not?
that's too much.
Too much?
Yeah,
Too much
no,
time?
No, no.
yeah, I
Too
spend
much
way too much
dancing,
time.
Right.
No, no,
Yeah. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe back if I was still mascotting, because
Yeah.
at least I had the costume on where you can't see
Yes,
what's going
right.
on. But now that you can see it, no.
So you're not doing
I'm
a
out.
TikTok dance with me on this?
No.
Don't worry, we're
Yeah.
not. I promise you, we're not doing that. No one wants to see that. And then, all right, visit any place in the world. Money's not an object. Where's
Okay.
Kira going?
I have two.
Okay.
Either I'd go to Hawaii
You know,
or Kira Beach in Australia, just because it's
Ah.
what I'm named after.
that's right. I remember that from last year.
That is
stood
from
out to
last
me.
year.
Kira Beach. That's all right. That's good. I remember it now. Kira Beach in Australia. All right, Kira. Well, thanks for being here. Congratulations on a great start to your senior year. Best of luck. We'll update everybody here as we go with tennis and cross country. And congratulations on a
Thank
great
you so
start.
much. Thank you for having me.
Anytime. Thank you, Kira. Enjoy your Dairy Queen. We're going to transition right into our cross country program. It's a good lead in to talk a little girls and boys cross country with our head coach, Coach Chris Thomas. Come on up, Coach Thomas. Yeah, right. Well, yeah, so we started off with Kira's tennis side, and obviously you're her cross-country coach. How's she handling the dual sport piece? It's not easy to do, obviously, as we just talked to her about.
This is her third year doing
Yeah.
it, so she's kind of got a pro
Right.
sense about her.
Okay.
This year, because she's a senior and she has that added from PSL classes to,
Yeah,
she's a little more action going on.
Yeah,
But
right.
she's doing a great job.
good.
It's hard, like she has to train on her own after tennis, and
Yeah.
she does a good job. She checks in with us every day, and we talk
Okay.
to her every day. So
Right.
she's very good at it.
Awesome. Well,
That's how
good
I
to
always
hear.
know when cross-country practice is over, especially if there's a home tennis meet, because
Right.
you and Coach Martin are walking by, and I can
Right.
hear you guys yelling at her
Yeah.
as you're going back. Yeah.
All right, so we'll work in reverse order here because I think we had a great weekend down at the Ashland meet.
We did.
And so we'll start with that. Boys finished 7th overall, girls finished 4th. Just take us through that meet. It's our first time down there,
Yeah.
is it not? So
Yeah.
always sort of exciting to try something new, and I'm glad to hear that it went well. But just tell us a little bit about this past Saturday down at Ashland.
Well, first it was the overnight, so the kids were pretty
Yeah.
amped up
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah.
Martin and I had a lot of work to do, but they were very good.
Good.
They acted well on this trip. The biggest bit, we went down there mostly because we wanted to see some Division 3 and 4
Yeah.
schools that
Yeah.
we had. It wasn't a very big meet, but it was
Okay.
nice for them to get up in the Hazel and Landon were our number ones this week, so they got to mix it up in the top 15, top 16 of each race. So
Yeah.
they did well. Our girls, the boys did well. I'll go back to them, but
Yeah.
the girls, they actually raced first, and it was an interesting course. Very fast in the beginning, so you get out a little too faster than you kind of want to. Just
Mm-hmm.
a little, some downhill slopes, not downhill, but just slopes. So they're probably 10, 15 seconds faster in the first mile. They get into the woods, and from what they said, because Coach Martin and I didn't get a chance to go get in the woods themselves, because we didn't have a lot of time. There was a mountain, I was
Oh,
told.
mountain.
Now, Perry's very flat, and the 2 miles of Perry
Yeah.
from the school to
Yes,
20,
yes.
10 miles, but
Yeah.
it was a mountain, so it was just like never ending, and you couldn't see the trees. So
Okay.
they handled that. They had a hard week of practice and handled it anyway. We had three top boys
Top-
in the top 25, which
Okay.
get awards.
Right.
They didn't have them ready, so I don't have them. But
Right.
I can't show them off or anything. But the top 25 all got awards. So Landon and to Matthew Viss, Hunter Klein, who's come out this year. So it
Yeah.
was Landon. 2 seconds behind him was Hunter, and
Yeah,
then
so
we
they
had
finished
Matthew.
16th and 18th respectively. Landon 16th,
Yes.
Hunter 18th, and then Matthew 25th.
Correct, yeah.
Right on that 25
Right.
line. So that's
And
great.
Landon went out very fast.
Yeah.
So probably 20 seconds faster than last week.
Yeah.
Which he was trying to be conservative last week. This week he was a little more aggressive. It caught up to him on the hill. But I
Right.
honestly think if there wasn't a hill, he probably would have PR'd as well
Right.
for the boys. The boys raced great from
Yeah.
Noah and Chance Pike and
Okay.
Jackson Hagerman down in our second. We have 2 little packs. It's
Right.
kind of fun that are all within like 10 seconds of each other. So
And then Hazel Cannon finished 8th on the
She was
girls' side.
8th, and-
Kate Farrell 20th, and Abby Cornwall 27th.
Right. Abby Cornwell, that's about 40 seconds fast for her
Wow.
PR, and she's been a little nicked up.
Yeah.
She's still training for wrestling because
Right,
that's
sure.
her number one. So
Sure,
she's
sure.
training for wrestling and doing a good job with those 2. Hazel's coming back from a really hard track season, so she was a little beat up from that, and so
Okay.
she's on pace to be better than she was last year, but she's
Okay.
not ahead
Yeah.
race wise. But I think
Okay.
the courses were both worth. And then Kate Farrell,
Yeah.
she's been a beast
Yeah.
all year. Like she's worked her little keister off all season, and she's balancing that with being a drummer. So the
Right.
drummers have a little more work to do than everybody else in the band.
Yeah.
So she's the leader in the band and on the team. So then Kira, Hevlin, and Anna Holp. We have Gabby, who's a good freshman that's come up, and it's a good little group.
So how many freshmen do we have? Like the theme of the day has been
Yes.
boys golf has 3 freshmen. We've got some freshmen in our tennis program. Obviously, Laurel French is our number 1 singles player.
Right.
How is it looking on the cross country
So
side?
cross country, we have the younger with Hazel being a sophomore, Hazel, and we have Brooklyn Hagerman, she's our number 6 or 7 right now.
Okay.
So she's been 6 solid for the last 2 meets. But we have Gabby Helms, who's come up and had a solid
Okay.
season last year as a middle schooler.
Okay.
And then on the boys' side, we have Chance Pike, who's double sport,
Yeah.
and Jackson Hagerman, who's also double sport. So
Right.
soccer and cross, and football and cross.
Right.
So we'll
Always
see.
unique to have
Yeah.
these try to work. It's always a bit of a struggle there, but
And going into this year, let's start on the girls' side because obviously you graduate 2 studs from
Right.
the program.
We
So
did. We
what were
went
your
some big studs.
expectations, your thoughts going into this year, knowing that you had obviously Hazel being able to intern some girls already in the program?
Well, we had a nice consistent track season. We split it up. Coach Martin did the longer girls, and I did the mid distance girls and the boys. We were very excited for this season because just to see the continuance of our training philosophy. They've done very well and add a little more mileage to their repertoire this last summer. I've always felt really positive about the season. Losing Holly Viss and Audrey Morganard is a huge
Yeah.
hit to your, but we had depth last year, and that depth is rising to the occasion. And Hazel looks good right now. She's not 100%, and she's very close to what she was last year.
And if I remember right, that depth obviously came into play last year because
Correct.
both of them were hurt early on and
Yes.
that kind of came into the
Yeah.
final stretch.
And that Hazel and Kate were our top 2 last year, and Anna Holp was injured as well, so she kind of filled in the 3 and 4 spot late as she came in. But they handled it. I think that experience last year in the first month of the season really helped. They're fearless now.
Yeah.
They're ready to lead, and they've taken that, and they're ready to go. So they're fun. They're a cute little group on the girls' side. Boys' side, we lost two good seniors with Jose and Nikolai, but Landon, Noah, our two juniors. We have no seniors, but they're grabbing it. They're grabbing the chance to be leaders, and they've grown so much mentally and physically, yes, but more mentally, just because they're older and they care about the team.
And as a coach, we'll go back to the boys' side in this action.
Uh-huh.
You have three coming basically at the same time. Like, what are
Yes.
your emotions as you see coming down to the finish line?
Oh, yeah.
1, 2, 3 right in a row, and all within 10 seconds of each other.
They come out of the woods, and you don't see them in the woods. There's about so they get to the wood mark. There's 1,000 meters left, and they're 500 meters. We have no idea. We're like, I'm just yelling at the woods, like, oh! So the boys coming out with Landon and then Hunter not far behind them. It was essentially like a whirly track that went around this hill. It wasn't on a hill; it just went around a hill. Looked like you were slicing an apple up, and 10 seconds. Hunter and Landon both just muscled up and finished off within 2 seconds of each other. And then you have Matthew, who's hustling. Yeah. And you're coming off the bridge, and you just hear this boom, boom, boom. And they're falling down this hill. That's literally like 60, 70-degree slope. All the kids are running and just slamming their feet on that bridge. So you're like, are they going to, what's going to happen? It's like a waterfall of children coming up. But yeah, it was fun to see how close they were. And then our second group, Noah, they were all within a minute 30 apart, which is a pretty good spread for your top six. And the next three were back to back too.
And then, so Riverside was our opening meet of the
Yes.
year. That's the night race. It's become quite a production over there.
Yes, it is
it's
a monstrosity of a meet. It's they organize it very well. Parking, and if you're in the area at that moment during the meet, it's a little chaotic.
Yeah.
Don't drive on 84
Right, yeah,
on
stay away from
that
84,
weekend.
yeah.
But Jeff Weber, who
Yes.
he organizes the race, does a very good job getting it together and advertising for it and getting
multiple
people.
4 states in participation,
Yes,
including
yeah,
Ohio, I believe.
yeah.
So that's a
Lots
lot.
of New
Somebody's
Yorkers and
willing
Pennsylvanians.
to come that far to
Yeah.
compete. And the night portion adds a little bit of a fun element
Yes,
to it. It's
it does.
unique.
It does.
Most of our races are in the morning or early afternoon on a Saturday. This one's a Saturday night, so it's a fun way to kick off the year.
We actually ran a little earlier. We ran at
okay.
twilight, so you
Okay.
could watch the sunset during the
Oh,
girls'
perfect.
race.
Look at
And the
that.
boys' race, it was dark.
Right,
So
okay.
it was the same feeling.
So do they
but
wear any glow stuff at that point?
They
or
do.
Wear,
We usually have. We didn't do as much this year.
Okay.
We paint the hair, and
Right.
I don't know if we got it in the UV light long enough.
Right,
but
right.
we weren't as glowy this year.
Okay.
I think we were all. It's going to be lighter, but it was pretty dark even.
Yeah. All right, and so what's ahead for the Pirates here over the next couple of weeks?
So this
in
next
September?
week we're actually gonna test the waters at Kenston this
Yeah,
week. It's a
okay.
really early meet, so we're
Yeah.
actually I'm not sure we're gonna train through it
Okay.
and probably do more of an open split
Okay.
the team up on that and
Sure.
races to get them a little more confidence racing
Yeah.
in the top half of the pack.
Okay.
It's a big meet in a lot of Division 1, 2 schools,
Right,
so
yeah.
it's like not an overwhelmingly great experience
Yeah, right,
at times
yeah.
for youngsters.
Sure.
So we're gonna pull back
Okay.
the reins a little bit there. We have a week off for
Yeah.
training, and
Yeah.
then we're going to Geneva for we call it the PEG meet. It's
Right.
Perry, Edgewood, and Geneva.
the PEG
It's
meet.
the conference course, and Coach Long said she added a hill. The front hill coming down.
okay.
Last year it was flat.
That's
This year
right.
they have that hill where the driveway comes down.
That's right.
So
Geneva
we'll
is
see
the
how that
host
is.
school this year for the CVC cross country championships, and that
Yes.
will be on October 12th, if I'm not mistaken, 11th, I think Saturday the 11th, out at Geneva. So that's
Yes.
going to be new. We've been at
Yes.
Cardinal the last 3
Yeah.
or 4
and
years.
that is
so,
a fast course,
Yeah.
but it hasn't been the best weather the
Right.
last couple of years. But
Of course,
hopefully
you
it's
never
good
know what
weather.
you're going to
and-
get. And then we'll be at the You Want to Come Back in Madison
Yes,
at the end of September, and then that's where the district course
Right,
is as
right.
well. So
And that's a fast. If it's nice, even if it's kind of muddy, it's
Yeah.
still a pretty
it
fast
moves, no
course.
hills out
Right.
there. You're
Good
running around
turns,
campus.
nice
yep.
wide turns.
Yep. And so Geneva, it'll be good that we get to run the with that tri meet that we have. We'll get to run that conference course, so that'll be a good little precursor. So
they'll get their hills.
Yeah, well, or maybe the
Or their
Ashland
hill.
Hill
Their hill.
is gonna prove beneficial at some point, even though they
Kenston's
probably
a little
weren't
hilly
thinking
too.
that.
So
Oh, I
that's
bet it is out
But
there.
I want it. We need to train a little more hills, and that's what.
Where are
we
you
have
gonna take 'em to
we have
find the mountains so they can get
I know
ready?
I don't have a
Yeah,
mountain.
right, yeah.
I have to go to Ashland to do that.
I just walked Indian Hill, or Indian Point, I should
Yes,
say, the other day.
we did go there yesterday.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's a good hill. I was only walking, so I'm not running up that thing. But then, yeah, and then our regional course will be back at Boardman again,
Yes.
and then state and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. So we'll.
I'm excited to see how it goes this year with the new Division III.
Yes.
The format.
Yeah.
It's still pretty dense in talent.
Yeah.
And at our district and at our.
Well,
at
and
our-
they're
Well,
gonna-
we got to make it. We got to
Yeah.
earn it. So.
Yeah, you got to earn
Can't
it.
talk
and then-
about it yet.
Right. So we'll have you on again as we get closer to
Uh-huh.
the end, and we'll see. Hopefully you'll hear about PRs and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, because obviously that's the idea, right? Like,
Right.
you want a PR, and not that you put the pressure on them. You have to PR every week,
Right.
but that you want to see that sort of, gradual improvement. So you're building toward the end of that. So that 3 weeks in a row, that conference. Meet on the 11th, then district
Districts.
meet on the 18th, and
Yeah.
then if we qualify onto regionals on the 25th
Uh-huh.
down at Boardman. So you want to see that progression, so you're peaking
Yeah.
at the right time. You don't
Yeah.
want to peak on September 28th with 3 or 4 weeks to go.
Yes,
right?
yeah,
So-
yeah. We kind of, it's a little cyclical, so we
Yeah.
will work and try to get them a little, so they can get faster at, you
Yeah.
want to come back and
Sure.
test them a little bit there.
Right,
But
okay.
yeah, we kind of get a little, I don't know, too caught up in the PR sometimes on
Sure.
cross, because the courses are so different.
Yeah, it's
And
true.
so you have to look at the consistency from course to course, and
That makes
then
sense.
then what are the conditions? So they have to journal about that.
Well, the Northeast District Board did warn us, like they're still having all of regional at Boardman. So
Yes.
everything's there, just gonna be more
Right.
races.
Yeah.
So it could be more
with the
more
super
mud.
regional on Division One,
Yeah,
and
right.
and
It
so
could
we'll
be-
see how that is.
Depending when they set our time, we'd rather be earlier that day probably
Right,
than later.
right.
Yeah, that course might get trashed. But all right, Coach Thomas, thanks so much for coming in and giving us updates on the boys and girls. Great start to the year. Great weekend last
Mm-hmm.
weekend down in Ashland with that team overnight trip. And best of luck, and we'll have you
Thank
back
you.
on as we get closer to our postseason stuff.
All right, thanks
All right,
a lot.
thanks, Coach.
Thanks,
Good job.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Coach Thomas. All right, out to Kenston this week for the Pirates and some hills maybe out on Bainbridge.
Yeah, I'm going to start scouting the area and find
Yeah.
a bunch of mountains for the kids to start running
Right, there
through.
you go. All right,
Yes.
that's your. You can. That's a good assignment for you. I like that.
But as you mentioned, cross country, so they'll be at their meet on Saturday away.
Yep.
We'll go in kind of a reverse order here.
Yep.
So girls soccer, last week they split 1-1,
Mm-hmm.
a win against Riverside, lost to West Geauga, but they have 3 away games this week.
Last week was tough. West Geauga is one of the better teams in Division 4, which we just found out they actually moved down. I thought they were a D3 school. They're D4, so they're in the same division. We'll want to avoid them in the postseason draw as far as we can. They came in here and played really well. And we lost 4-0, sort of almost the inverse from the match before against Riverside was a 4-1 win. So, sort of extremes last week. We're actually at home tonight against Chardon. But then our next 3 are on the road. So you're correct about that. 6 p.m. tonight, Tuesday the 2nd against Chardon. Then we're at South on the 4th. We're at Wycliffe on Saturday the 6th. And then afternoon match at 3 o'clock. And then a quick turn back to Padua next Monday for a 6 p.m. match out of Padua. Always a tough side out on the west. The west side, we play a lot of west side schools because they seem to be a little bit more. There's just a little bit different of a level out there, and so we want to test ourselves against some of those better schools on the west side. And Padua will definitely do that for us as well. But all winnable matches for us over the next 3 or 4. So looking to see where we can end up, and obviously get ourselves into the best possible seed for the postseason, and the CVC championship is still achievable. West G is in our conference, so if they get knocked off by somebody and we don't lose again, we could potentially share and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
And on the boys' side, so real quick on the girls, so
Yeah.
basically playing every other day, so there'll be
Yeah.
plenty of time to come out here on
Sure.
Tuesday, support them, but then they'll eventually be back home after the 3 away.
Yep.
Boys soccer, they took a loss at Lutheran West, but they're back in action here on Tuesday and again on Thursday.
Right, and the boys will. They're playing South, so it's a cool event on Thursday the 4th. The girls and the boys will play together on Thursday. So the girls play at 5, and then we follow with the boys at 7 o'clock. So. In Lutheran West, again, West Side School, we sort of just talked about that. No difference. I mean, Lutheran West is a very tough side, and they played well, and, they got the win there. But I know our kids will bounce back, and we had Chance on last week, and we'll have Coach Tanish on here in the coming weeks to talk a little bit about their season. But a totally different mindset this year from last year, and things are going well. And you're going to have matches like that over a 16, 17 game schedule. Those matches against really good teams are gonna happen.
And the volleyball side for the girls, they pick up a 3-0 win at Hawken last week. Then they have their home opener today on Tuesday.
Yes.
And then Thursday, the tournament this coming up this weekend where they're playing
Yes.
2 games. So a lot for all the volleyball players.
Yeah, volleyball, again, sort of the idea going into playing in that Hudson tournament, which it's right off the bat, it's 3 matches. And it's against really good competition. Yes. Hudson, Walsh Jesuit, one of the better teams in the state, and Riverside, a perennial district and regional qualifier right next door. So we took 3 losses there, but they competed really well. And I know they're going to use that. They're going to use some of that of those tough lessons in those opening 3 matches to come back later on in the year, and it's going to benefit us later on, even though it's a sort of a brutal way to start. And I think we turned it around and used it against Hawken last week, where last year Hawken, we went down to the wire with Hawken. We beat them twice, but they were both 3-2 matches, I believe, or 3-1. We went in there and swept them, took care of business, and got that first CVC win of the year. Orange comes in today, another big CVC match. So, and then, we're playing another tournament at Sugar Falls this weekend. So another great opportunity. Bay Village is there, Sugar Falls is there, to go out and get 3 more matches under our belts against really good competition this weekend. So things are moving along on the volleyball side.
And we kind of touched on it last week when Jill Peters was here, but girls golf with Coach Walker, they're underway, and they're continuing their meets each and every week.
They are. They're in the Edgewood, as Jill said last week, is sort of the class of that division. So that's who we've got sort of our eyes on. We want to compete with Edgewood. We're looking at their scores every day. They're checking our scores every day. We're probably the top 2 teams in our conference. So we've got their postseason coming up already here on for the CVC on the 16th of September out at Punderson. And then they're going to be out at they'll be at Punderson again for their postseason tournament. And I might have flip-flopped that. Maybe it's Erie Shores. But anyway, our girls, yes, it's just like we talked with Bronson on the boys' side. They started competing July 28th or 29th, and the season is a month underway. We're we're over the halfway point of that season, which is crazy to think that way, but that's how it is for the golf side.
And football, of course, had their big win against Kenston, 35-30. It was a big night, I should say, for McCoy Richards.
Yeah, he really played well. Our whole team played really well. They made some big plays, but I think we stepped up and made the plays when we needed to on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. Because we had to get a stop late in the game, and you look at, yes, did we shoot ourselves in the foot a couple of times? Yes. Did Kenston do that as well? Yes. And that's what young teams do, and inexperienced teams. And so you're going to have that this early in the year, and who can make more plays? At the end of the day, we made a couple more plays than what Kenston did, and we were able to come out of there with a win, 35-30, and it keeps us undefeated, keeps us 2-0. And moves us into Kirtland week, where now the Hornets are really our only focus. I think Coach Guswich said it in his interview on Friday night. We play a 9-game schedule, and then we have Kirtland. So it's the kids know it's a rivalry game, and it's sort of fun for us because you get to play. Really, and Madison's always going to be a rival.
Right.
And yes, we've won the Jug over the last several years, and it's stayed here, and so. Kirtland is obviously right now just a little bit more competitive with us. So the kids really get up for both of those games, and have a couple of them right off the bat early in the year is a lot of fun.
Yeah, top of the crop, 2 versus 3 this week.
Right.
And, of course, it's the big vote for the
Yeah.
Fox 8 Game of the Week.
Get that out there. I will send an email out to everybody today. We sent it out to our staff. It's on Twitter. We're promoting it. So any kind of publicity we can get. We're not St. Ed's. We're not Menor. We don't have maybe the following or the size of those programs, but a smaller school like a Division IV and a Division VI school get together. I think it's awesome that we can come out, win that game of the week, and it can be on Fox 8, and everybody can sort of see it front and center. I think Kirtland obviously has a good following because of when you've been in how many state championship
right.
games in a row, the people know who you are, and I think we're getting there as well. I think people know when they hear Perry football that they're going to get a really quality product on the field on both sides of the ball. And it's going to be a fun matchup. So hopefully we win it. Hopefully we get to see Ken Carmen out there on Friday night and doing his thing. And hopefully we can come and get a victory against the Hornets. We were fortunate enough to do it last time at their place. And then they got us essentially on the last play of the game last year in a 2-point play. Jake Laverde made the play, and they get a 1-point win. So we're out for some revenge this week.
Yeah, the triple overtime, just maybe the best game in Northeast Ohio last year. But
Yep.
that's the part of it now. Now that this rivalry has been renewed,
Yeah.
coming back the year after COVID,
Yeah.
and now
Yes.
playing them year after year, it makes for great football here in Lake County.
And then Chardon the following
Yeah.
week. So we're right back at home. We'll have our third home game in 4 games. Back here on September 12th against a very good Chardon program. We'll see where they're going to end up. They're probably going to be 2-1 if I had to guess coming into our game. We might have the same record. We might be 3-0. But it's either way, no matter what happens this Friday, the following Friday against Chardon is going to be a great test for our program. And it's going to, again, we talked a little bit about volleyball and their tough way to open the year against some of those really strong opponents. It's going to prepare us for the postseason run that's going to be ahead of this team, and it's going to help us in the end, get some tough wins in that postseason, which they're always hard.
Yeah, so there's going to be plenty of fall sports in action here at Perry over this next weekend in the coming weeks. So get out here, support the teams, and even if you have to go on the road,
Yep.
it's not that far of a trek to support some of these teams as well.
Yeah, we appreciate it, Gene. That'll wrap up week 2 of Walk the Plank. We'll be back either next Tuesday or Wednesday for week 3 and give everybody a recap of what was another great week in Perry Athletics. Until then, go Pirates.